Hello, everyone. My name is Cristy Aley, and welcome to our discussion this afternoon with Resiliency Task Force. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. I'm hoping some people can chime in today and hopefully be able to have some comments here and be able to discuss resiliency and the community resilience model. Oh, there's Debonair. Okay, we're on. Hi. Again, my name is Cristy Aley, and I am with the Harrelson Center. I'm the outreach coordinator with the Harrelson Center, and we are part of the Resiliency Task Force. So I'm going to give it just a few more minutes in hoping that we can get some more of those little eyes pop up there and chime in. And if you have any comments, if you know of some resources that you would like to pass along, please put it in the comment section. Wait a few minutes and we'll get started. Okay, great. Okay, so everybody, so you can hear me. Looks, it sounds great. Okay, great. It's a beautiful afternoon. I'm loving the sunshine and the flowers and the spring afternoons. Get outside. So hopefully most will be able to enjoy this afternoon. Just one more minute and we'll get started. I am new to the Facebook Live thing, so forgive me. I'm still learning where everything is, and I'm excited. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome. Thank you for taking this time, your afternoon. We're going to spend about 20-25 minutes discussing some skills, and looking forward to our time together. So again, my name is Cristy Aley, and I am the outreach coordinator for the Harrelson Center, and we became members of the Resiliency Task Force 2 years ago, right when it was launched, and seeing the different committees that were being formed. There are several committees within the Resiliency Task Force, knowing that we are part of the nonprofit sector, and we also have 18 churches that are part of the Help Hub. We knew that we wanted to be part of the family, faith, and community subcommittee. So with today, I'm going to be leaning into that and be concentrating with family, faith, and community, the nonprofits, pastors, ministers, preachers, deacons, rabbis, of all religions that are here, and part of the Resiliency Task Force. This is a big week for several religions, for our Jewish friends and community. Passover started yesterday, sundown, and it's Holy Week for Christians. And so I know that there are several, I'm hoping there's several pastors, ministers, priests, and leaders of the faith-based community able to join us today, as well as executive directors and staff, volunteers that are involved with the nonprofits, part of our community. So I'm a Christian, and so looking at Scripture, looking at Old Testament, it says He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Increases the power of the weak. It also says, but trust in the Lord, but those who trust in the Lord will find new strength, finding new strength. And then in the New Testament, it says that suffering produces perseverance, which creates character, which provides hope. And with other religious leaders or individuals that are involved with other congregations, if you have other scriptures that connect this type of scripture with yours, and understanding that there's resiliency in scripture, I would love to see some of that in the comments if you would like to add that. And just knowing that we are here to understand mind, body, and soul and spirit, and we believe that within our community, within our religious beliefs. And so I'm hoping that we can focus in on that with you all today. So the community resilience model is one that the Resiliency Task Force has represented, and we have supported. Several of us have been trained with community resilience model. It was created by Elaine Miller-Karras, and she's also the director of Trauma Resource Institute, which is based out of California. And so with this approach and with this model, community resilience model, we are learning skills and how to reset our nervous system. So all of us have nervous systems, and all of these skills can be used from ages 2 to 92 across the board. We can learn these skills. It takes practice, so give yourself some grace with that. But I'm excited. We're going to be able to talk about there's 6 skills that are part of the community resilience model, but we're going to be talking about 3 of those. And these are skills as for a wellness practice. And so just know that we're going to be talking a little bit. I'll give you a little bit of the outline. We're going to be talking about the resilient zone. We're going to be talking about strategies with Help Now. We're going to be talking about the 3 skills, which are tracking, resourcing, and grounding. And then I'm going to give you some resources after we talk about the skills. So I wanted to let you know that these skills are on the Resiliency Task Force website, which you can find on nhcbouncesback.org. So you'll be able to pull up the information that I'm talking about. I do have some visuals because I'm a visual learner, so I do want to show you a couple of things. So, but that's going to be our outline for the next few minutes. So thank you. And I do want to say before we get into the resilient zone that this is going to be a mind shift and having to think a little bit about yourself. As pastors and ministers and leaders of churches and nonprofit organizations, we're built to serve, and that's part of our makeup. But you have to have this shift in understanding your body is a temple, as it is said in Scripture, and I'm sure in several different religions, it states that your body is a temple, and you are to fill it with positive soul, mind, body, soul, and spirit influences and encouragement. And so Mebane Boyd was actually on Facebook Live last week, and I saw her in an interview, and she said a quote, and it has stuck with me, and I feel like I need to share that with you all today. She said, "You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to be filled." And so with that, and with our faith and our faith-based community, we are being filled, but we also need to understand the importance of self-care. And so Elaine Miller-Karras, she introduces this with our training, and she said, when you're traveling and flight attendant says if there's severe turbulence and the masks come down, what do you do? What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to put the mask on first before you help others. And so know that this is first self-care, so you can be filled to serve your family, your coworkers, your congregations, and the community. So we'll get into a little bit more into the resilient zone now. So that is what the community resilience model, they use that term, the resilient zone. And so this is a state of well-being. This is your best self. and everybody has it. Everyone is born with this space of a resilient zone. Some of us have wide resilient zones. Some of us have narrow resilient zones. I can say that probably because of the uprootedness that we have experienced these past 3 weeks or more, some of the resilient zones have narrowed. And so let me explain a little bit about that. We are going to teach you some skills to widen that. So I've got a little graph here, the visual learner that I am. I think you can see it. Okay, so this is the resilient zone. It almost looks like a belt, right? So all of us have the resilient zone. And so you can see that wave that's inside of that resilient zone. These are all emotions and sensations that we feel. So you saw that little wave. It's like an ebb and flow. It is a rhythm that we have in our resilient zone. You can feel happy. You can feel sad. You can feel frustrated, angry, excited. All of these feelings are within your resilient zone, and that you are in control of these emotions and these sensations within your resilient zone. It's what happens when you might not have emotions or sensations that move you out of that resilient zone. So I can honestly say with these past several weeks and the COVID-19 that we have probably been bumped out of our resilient zone. And I will show you what that's like. And please know that if you're bumped out, that's okay. I mean, we're not always every day living the ebb and flow rhythm of life. Things are going to happen. That's what happens in a daily life. So let me show you exactly what this happens when you are triggered. So you can see here, let me get it straight. This is if you are bumped out, or what happens when you are bumped out of your resilient zone. Something triggers you where you might have not a sensation that bumps you out or bumps you below the resilient zone, which might cause the sensations of a rapid heart rate, sweaty palms, tension in the shoulders. So if you're going along your day and you're triggered out or up, that might mean that you might feel the heart rate, anxiety, panic. These types of emotions are when you're bumped up and when you're bumped below. That might send you to emotions or sensations of depression and isolation. And like I said, that's okay to experience that and to be bumped out of the resilient zone, but you do not want to get stuck there. And so you can see in some of that I'd shown you, some individuals, they could get bumped out and they plateau up high with irritability, edginess, anxiety, and then they can go below the resilience zone into depression. And so it's hard for them to find that resilience zone and get back into their state of well-being. So what these skills do is to teach you, your body, how to reset your nervous system and how to find that resilient zone, how to get back into your best self. So with that, one of the skills that we talk about or strategies is help now. And this is to help you should you get bumped up or get bumped below the resilience zone. You're able to use these skills immediately, these strategies immediately, and it helps reset. It helps reset your body, helps reset your nervous system. So some examples would be if you're bumped out, you're feeling that heart rate, you're feeling that the tension, you're bumped out. One thing that you could do is count to 20 backwards. It's that simple, count to 20 backwards. It could be stop and look around the room and name the colors of the room, or stop and listen to the different sounds in the room. It could be taking a glass of water. That's my personal favorite, is being able to stop. When I'm feeling my heart rate, I go and I take a glass of water, and just to feel the coolness going down my throat and taking the time to swallow and feel the coolness in my throat helps reset. And it takes that time to reset that nervous system. Others would be Noticing the temperature in the room. Is it cool? Are you feeling warmth on your skin? Another one would be walk around the room and just feel the textures of different furniture, the walls. Another really big one, and we find this successful with children and adults, is pushing against the wall. So if you're feeling your heart rate, you're feeling yourself bump out of that resilient zone, go to a wall and push against the wall and feeling that strength, push against that wall, or you can actually push your back against the wall and feeling the strength in your hands, or if you're pushing back on the wall and feeling the strength in your legs, that's resetting your nervous system. So it's simple little things like this can help you get back into your resilient zone. So that is one strategy once you're bumped out. But we're going to talk about some skills now. So we're going to begin with tracking. And again, like we said, we have 6 skills, but I'm going to talk about 3. The first one is the foundational skill, and I'm going to use my hand here. So we have 6 skills, and this is the foundation. This is tracking. So everything stems from this particular skill, this first skill. And what it is you are able to pay attention to sensations. You're paying attention to what's happening in the inside. So one thing that helps me is to be able to, once I'm feeling my heart rate or I'm feeling that anxious feeling, I take a step back, a half step back. If you take a half step back and say, okay, what just caused this trigger? What just caused this to make me feel this way? So once you kind of start practicing that, you're going to realize and you're going to get more of a feel of what's happening within your body and what's happening in the inside. Elaine Miller-Karras uses a great example of a garden, which I love since it's this time of year. People are planting gardens, especially the extra outside time we have right now. But she uses the example of a garden. If you take the garden and you water your fruits and vegetables in the garden, what's going to happen? The fruits and vegetables are going to grow. What happens if you choose to water the weeds? The weeds are going to grow. So here, when you are in the tracking, you have a choice. What you pay attention to grows. So are you going to turn to sensations of well-being, or are you going to turn to turmoil? It's good to understand both. What's your sensations when you're excited and you feel that joy and happiness? And what's that sensation? Okay, I'm feeling this. What just caused this trigger for me? So it's important to understand tracking, because that's going to help you understand the other skills. And the next skill is one of my favorites, and that is resourcing. I'm hoping I'm not even looking at all the comments. I can't wait to go back and look at some of these. Hello, everybody. So resourcing is something that brings you peace, joy, comfort, happiness, and a sense of calm. So I invite you now to find that. What is that? Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it a thing? For children, sometimes it's their imagination or a superhero. I can tell you that once you find that resource, is there something that you can build upon with that resource? Is it a sight? Is it a smell? Is it a holiday time with family? Is it some of your favorite meals? Is it a place that has this particular, are you hearing something with that resource? Is there something, a coolness or warmth in your body? I can give you an example. One of mine is the Blue Ridge Mountains, and being able to be on hiking trails in the Blue Ridge early in the morning and seeing the sunrise and hearing the birds begin to sing their morning songs, and hearing and seeing the sunlight come through the leaves as I'm on a trail, and just to feel the coolness on my skin and feeling and breathing in that cool mountain air. That is a resource for me. Another resource, and you can have multiple resources. Another one just has become my resource this week is my mother sent me this on Monday, and it is a picture of clouds at Sunset Beach, which is our most favorite family place to be. And she is currently in isolation. She's 85 years old, and she found this picture, able to Xerox it, send it to friends and family. But on the back, she just talked about what she experiences with her family there. And I just called her immediately and I said, Mom, not only was this a resource for you, but you just shared it with your friends and your family, and you've been able to highlight that for me. So this is now propped up on my bedside, and so I see this every morning and at night, and think about my family and that place at Sunset Beach. So there's different resources that you can create, and the more you think about that, when something happens and you're triggered out of your resilient zone, you can come back to that space with the help of Help Now, drinking some water, and just thinking about your resource. This is expanding your resilient zone. For pastors and ministers and leaders of churches and nonprofit staff, you can do that by connecting with individuals right now. I know we're having to do so many Zoom meetings and GoToMe meetings, but also phone calls with the elderly, and being able to connect with them and be able to say, what gives you joy, and just let them go and expand on that. Another way you can do this with teenagers at home or with children at home, great conversations around the round table at dinner. You can say, what gives you calm? What gives you peace right now? It's okay to talk about this with COVID-19 and this new situation that's happened in everybody's life, and see what the kids say, see what the teenagers say. And also with children, you can have them draw a picture of what gives them peace and calm and makes them happy. And so if they can draw pictures and be able to put it on their walls in their room or put it on the refrigerator, and should something happen, and you can tell them to go to that space and go over to that place and see that sense of calm and happiness for them. These are just certain exercises that you could do with the skill of resourcing. And lastly, I would like to talk about grounding. That is the third skill I'm going to talk about today. So grounding is very simple. It's just direct contact of your body with something that gives you support. So right now I am sitting on my couch and my feet are planted on the ground. And should something trigger me outside of my resilient zone, this helps me become present, to really sit and know that I'm supported. And it brings me back to the present, because there's so many situations that might bump you out of that resilient zone where you're thinking about the past or the unknown, or COVID-19, the unknown. This can bump you out of your resilient zone. So if you take that time to be still and feel that support underneath you, feel the back support, and just breathe in with some Help Now skills, this can help strengthen your resilient zone, widen that resilient zone. Another grounding that I have just discovered this past week was being able to rock on my rocking chair in my back porch, and just to feel that support and push off, and just to feel that that comfort. That's grounding for me. So these are examples of grounding. Go ahead and also say that Elaine Miller-Karras has created an iChill app. If I can find it, I'm going to upload it here. And she's got an excellent grounding exercise. So you can download, if you can see, iChill. There we go. Okay, so this is iChill app. It's free. And you can see right there in yellow, it's Help Now. So if you're needing help now, and she's got the list there. You can also go back and see all the skills. You can go into the grounding. It is so calming. I've used that several times. And it's just a very helpful tool, and something that you can also use with your children, and being able to explain the skills with them. So I'm hoping that you were able to, during this time, that you were able to understand community resilience model, the importance of resetting your nervous system, understanding the resilience zone and how you can widen that with Help Now skills and strategy, with tracking what's happening in the inside, with resourcing, finding that place of calm and joy and happiness, and also grounding, feeling that support system when you're needing to get back into that present moment. You can find all of this on the Resiliency Task Force website, which is nhcbouncesback.org. So thank you for your time. It flew by. It flew by. I can't believe it's 26 minutes into this. So thank you for your time. I'm hoping you're going to be able to use these skills. If you've got any questions, please contact the Resiliency Task Force. Contact myself, the Harrelson Center, Cristy at the Harrelson Center. Please contact me. And thank you again for your support and the hope. And hopefully with this, we are cultivating a resilient community together. So bless you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.